Do you ever wonder if your small actions even matter and how they'll affect those who come after you? Do you sometimes feel hopeless, distressed, and unable to calm your nerves? Feelings of grief, guilt, and worry flood your mind at night about the state of the world, changing climates, and an uncertain future. You're not alone, my friend. Many people around the world are carrying a heavy burden and an inner fear about their future because of where we are today. One of my favorite things to do whenever I start to feel hopeless about the world is take my shoes off, go outside, dig my toes into the soil, sprawl my body down on the cool earth, and stare up at the stars, showering me with love from above. It always gives me that strange sensation of being ever so small, yet so vastly large at the same time. Small because I'm just one person living in this blip of an instant in time, but big because I know that I am made for greatness. Now it's time to let go of all fears, worries, and limiting beliefs, and to experience the freedom of love outside of ourselves. The abounding love of creation. Settle into your warm bed and drift away into a peaceful slumber with me as we float through the green pastures of creation and into a deep odyssey amongst the cosmos. Together, finding how we fit into this beautiful masterpiece called life. God, I pray that you cover whoever's listening to this right now with overflowing peace, and that you free them from all anxiety, fear, and doubt. Help them to relieve all of their worries and stresses right here, right now, into your hands, to know that they do not have to do life alone. Help them to feel the freedom and the overwhelming joy of your infinite love. May they find rest in your safe shelter, acceptance in the things they cannot change, courage to change the things they can, and wisdom to know the difference. May they find freedom from the chains of unrest. Amen. How can we possibly matter if we are but a tiny fingernail mark on this billion-year-old Earth? Our lives seem so insignificant in the grand scheme of the immensity of what's at play around us. How can we possibly make a dent, a real difference, and change the course of some of the greatest evils threatening our society today? When all the heaviness of the world seems to weigh me down, I like to retreat to nature in silence so that I'm reminded of where I came from and why I'm here. And then I remember that we can make a difference because we were made for greatness. With the spirit of wisdom, we can overcome all of life's challenges. Climate chaos is heavy with stronger storms, fiercer fires, and warmer seas, parched lands, biodiversity loss, and basic human rights like food security and safe drinking water are in danger. Rest without terror, my friend. We must not fall into the doom and gloom this world would have us to believe. Instead, keep present the abundant paradise each one of us is building with hope and love. Hope is like a pearl formed from a tiny grain of sand, transforms into something strong and beautiful. It's our brightest weapon to illuminate the darkness and destruction of this world. Float with me through this celestial world as we shine our hope-filled lights onto the treasures of this world. You now lean your head back, shut your eyes, and extend your body in a long and satisfying stretch. You take a deep breath, and as you breathe in, you notice the scent of a tranquil sea salt. You've been transported to a seaside village. There are people laughing and playing, running after each other into the breaking waves. You see kids making sandcastles of imaginary empires and kingdoms from a time they do not know. You catch a glimpse of these detailed castles made of millions of tiny grains of sand, and you realize that you are so much more complex than this intricate castle made of sand. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, with a divinely designed roadmap within you, telling every other cell in your body how to form and express itself as small as the nail on your finger, to the life-giving beat of your heart. The sandcastles disappear and recede with the bubbling waves back into the sea. You then float towards a local farm and watch a woman carrying a basket, walking barefoot through fields, picking rosemary, thyme, and lavender to season her dinner tonight. You peer inside the workings of a local butcher shop, the farmer's home. You hear the chickens foraging freely around the backyard as they warble and chirp at each other. The farmer chops his grass-fed lamb as he prepares it for the tall, chiseled man that walks in to buy the freshly harvested dinner for his family. You watch kids in the streets biking home as they pass the shop, smiling from the warm sun, kissing their cheeks and arms. You then float to the family's home and watch as the children playfully knead the swelling dough into all kinds of shapes and sizes. The mother seasons the fresh-cut lamb with her bouquet garni of rosemary and thyme. The scent of freshly baked bread settles your stomach. The children are laughing, smiling, and playing in the kitchen as the mother takes out the sizzling lamb from the oven, and the father prepares their table made from driftwood found along the nearby shoreline. They are grateful for their small feast of lamb, bread, and wine, and for the life and blood of this pure and innocent creature, satisfying their hungry bellies and restoring their souls for a new tomorrow. This humble yet joy-filled family offers a new lens on life. A life rooted in mission and purpose with a destination. They are simply people playing in the playground that was created for them. You quickly realize that this pocket of people connected to the source, their very existence is a simple rebellion against the systems that do not serve them. And you now yearn to move away from solitary isolation to communal participation. Every fiber and vein in your body fills with hopeful fire and inspiration. And you keep floating through the fabric of life. Dawn turns to dusk, and you arrive back at the sea. It feels like you've stepped back in time. The beach is etched with sleek black rock formations, forged from fire and ice millions of years ago. You see a group of friends in the distance playing music, dancing, and singing around a campfire. They seem to be cooking their freshly caught fish over a bright orange crackling fire. Their blue and white boat tied to one of the rocks bobs up and down in the gently lapping water. And the salty air fills your nose. You bring your toes to the edge of the foaming waves on the beach, and the cool, wet sand turns to an iridescent blue and green glow. In the distance, you see night surfers catch the waves that sparkle and glow with this flashing magical show. If this tiny one-celled creature can illuminate its own darkness as it shines through moving waves, what makes you think one of the most complex creatures alive, you, cannot do the same? As you take a deep breath of the salty air, you remember that more than half of the oxygen we breathe was created by these tiny organisms, photosynthesizing in these deep blue waters. The wind touches your hair and the skin of your cheeks, and in what seems like seconds, the glowing waves envelop you with a flowing force. You notice a passionate swirl of clouds spiraling above you. The waves lift into the air as they forcefully swirl around you, and this warm, living water bathes you with new strength. In this moment, you thank creation and its creator for sustaining your precious life. It's time for you to part from your earthly realm, and your body begins to lift beyond the noise, the waves, and the chaos. Deep relief and calmness flow through your veins as you slowly depart this biosphere and reach the edge of space. You float through layers of the atmosphere, not to escape this house, but to better understand our place within it and appreciate its exquisite nature. At 100,000 feet from the earth, just before breaking the barrier between sky and space, you see our massive and majestic home. Landforms in all shades of greens, browns, and blues, deep swirling oceans flowing with currents carrying life from one continent to the other, and white fluffy clouds like cotton candy blanket the oceans. You spot the bright blue thin line outlining the curvature of our planet amongst the backdrop of a stark black sky illuminated with millions of shining stars. And at a distance, you notice a twisting ladder swirling and winding in a slow rotation resembling the shape of our very own double helix. You float towards it and place your hands on the rungs, immediately attached with a force that lightly pushes you upward. So you start to climb, shooting past twinkling stars and passing comets in the distance. At the peak of the twisting helix, you look down. The atmosphere around you shifts, and you feel a force weighing your body down like a heavy weighted blanket. You're now about millions of miles away from the Earth, about the same distance as the moon's orbit. And you notice the Earth looks like a bright blue marble with stark white swirls adorning it. As you keep climbing, lightly pushed forward, you pass the orbits of the planets Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. The Earth begins to look like just another star, getting fainter and fainter as you climb higher and higher. And now you're surrounded by millions of stars suspended in our galaxy like twinkling bursts of fire. At this moment, you realize that you are just one of the millions of these starbursts, but that you too are made of this cosmic energy you're floating through. Surrounded by this celestial creation, you realize that you are made up of infinite galaxies. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the carbon in your DNA, and the oxygen you breathe were once formed inside the fiery hearts of these stars and released into the cosmos in their death throes over the course of billions of years. Gazing into that swirling, multicolored galaxy full of planets, stars, and gas clouds rich with life, you keep climbing as the helix strand spins like a never-ending bloom that continues to unfold above you. You don't know where it's leading you. All you know is that you're a piece of this larger blanket of galaxies. You look up and realize you're approaching a bright light, the brightest light you've ever seen and felt. An eternal and endless flowing light so bright you can hardly see what lies beyond it. It's impossible to look at and not transcend from dark denial and desperation to bright, wide-eyed acceptance, love, and hope. Your body fills with warmth and peace, and your mind begins to recall memories of the world you left down below. You're then transported to one particular night, staring up at a fully bright, shining moon. Its craters, mountains, and indentations muted by the illumination of the sun. As you moon-bathe by the ocean's edge, your slender, relaxed body drinks up the overflowing lunar gravitational pull. A pull so heavy it moves your tides from highs to lows. An inevitable rhythmic pattern, you surrender to its beckoning call just as the ocean bows to its give and take. You breathe in as the waves rush toward you, and you breathe out as they recede. The edge effect. You take a moment to listen to the waves tumble into you with all of their chaos, rush, and power, but its warm waters blanket you with a safe feeling of home. You hear the gently lapping water as it recedes from your body. It parts, and with it, you feel your chaos, doubts, fears, and worries wash away into the deep sea currents forever. Your flesh rubs gently into the warm, wet sand beneath you. For a moment in time, you are fully present in this rhythmic ecotone where land, body, and sea overlap with the crashing and receding of ocean, flesh, and sand. Again, you know you are one with this living ecosystem. It gives and takes in its purest, most perfect balance, all it ever knows. You're infused with a visceral understanding that we were made to participate in this vast, complex, beautiful planet we call home. You may be but a small creation among 2 trillion galaxies in the universe, but your life is not insignificant. You were not made by accident, coincidence, or without order. The chances of you existing today are 1 in 400 trillion. My weary warrior, you've already won one of the hardest battles there exists. You just don't recall it because you were but a tiny zygote swimming upstream after a perilous journey, fighting against all odds to stay alive, and the coral-like cilia gently pushing you toward nature's life-giving matrix, where you confidently hatched out of your shell and burrowed yourself into the walls of your new cozy home. Here you spent the next 9 months growing and maturing until you were ready to breathe your first breath in this new world. How special you are that even before you were conceived, there was already a path designed specifically for you. Now search for that cosmic river you once floated through when you were born from your mother's womb, out into this world of wonder. Remember, you were made of divine nature and were placed here for a much larger purpose. To live with integrity for the source of energy and ultimate creator. To pave the way for greatness and glory for those that are to come. To bring back order to the disorder. To challenge the hierarchy. And to love abounding in knowledge, wisdom, and depth. You were called for a mission. You were created and set apart. You won the battle the battle of being born in life's divine heart. But now what? Now you must choose to live on purpose. Dissolve into the unimaginable smallness of our place in the stars, yet the unthinkable largeness of the universe we're made from and the mission we're a part of. To love and be loved. Step outside of your own way and surrender to life's will. Let go. Wave the white flag. Acknowledge that you are not in control of the flow of this life, and it's not about you. Yes, we have our place and path, but it's not only about us, it's about what we create for others. Just as the farmer does not plant trees in his valley to see the fruit of his labor the very next day, he plants trees to regenerate life for generations to come, so that one day his children's children can delight in his hard work. Just as the warrior does not go to battle to relish in his own strength, he takes up his sword to protect his family and build a kingdom for his future generations. So, my friend, when chaos comes and when the storm hits, remember these are only the forces of life reordering and realigning your life to bring forth more of what you were designed for. Trust in the path. It's always in your favor. Do not give up on your life's dreams and yearnings, but let go of the weight that fear and stress bind you by. You look down and around you, wondering if you are still hanging in the twinkling galaxies or submerged in the calming bed of sea and sand. But as you blink your eyes, you take a closer look at what you thought were those multicolored gas clouds. And you now realize these galaxies are actually the eyes of the tiniest human nestled in your arms. Eyes so fierce, they look up at you with a sense of wonder and need, filled with hazel, blue, and golden swirls. They pull you right into their very own pupil with a deep yearning for someone to search for them. Now you are certain that we are simply and magically complex reflections of the living cosmos. You smile knowing you've chosen to bring new life into this world, a life that will grow to love, care for, and respect all life in this majestic, interconnected world we're a part of. You now nestle into bed with your perfectly made tiny creation resting against your warm skin. As you allow your mind to drift off to sleep, you are reminded that one day we will all part from this earth, and the weight you feel now will be no more. Your children will carry on your legacy, strength, and sense of wonder. This life is just about accepting the inevitability of death and the gift of rebirth, breaking from the chains of denial and leaning into the freedom of acceptance. Finding your way through the darkness to receive the graces, and sitting in the sorrow to experience heaven's delight. It's about surrendering and releasing so you can live freely, to create and to love as gracefully as nature creates and loves with every root, drop of water, ray of sunshine, and sparkling star. Everything works in order and for greater glory. The glory of life and of what's to come after it.